Nestled between two quaint villages was a forest known as the Whispering Woods. The villagers had always warned their children not to venture too far into the woods, especially at dusk, when the trees seemed to whisper among themselves. Yet, the wood's mysterious allure was irresistible to the young and curious. One such curious soul was Emma, a bright and adventurous 12-year-old who lived with her grandmother in the village of Pinebrook. Emma's grandmother often told her stories about the woods, stories filled with fairies, hidden treasures, and magical creatures. But it was the story of a forgotten cottage deep within the forest that intrigued Emma the most. "Why is it forgotten, Granny?" Emma would ask. "And who lived there?" Her grandmother would sigh, her eyes clouding with a distant memory. "A young woman named Alara once lived there. They say she was a witch, but a kind one. She disappeared many years ago, and no one knows where she went or what happened to her." Emma's best friend, Leo, was equally captivated by the tales of the Whispering Woods. The two friends spent their afternoons exploring the outskirts of the forest, imagining themselves as explorers on a grand quest. They would climb trees, search for magical creatures, and pretend to be lost adventurers. But they had never dared to venture too far in, heeding the village warnings. One day, as summer began to fade, Emma and Leo decided to make their greatest adventure yet. They packed a small bag with sandwiches, water, and a compass, and set off towards the heart of the Whispering Woods. The sun was high, and the forest floor was dappled with golden light. The deeper they went, the quieter the woods became, until all they could hear was the soft rustle of leaves and their own footsteps. After what felt like hours of walking, they stumbled upon a clearing. In the center stood an old, ivy-covered cottage, just as Emma's grandmother had described. It was charming yet eerie, with its mossy roof and crooked chimney. The windows were covered in dust, and the door hung slightly ajar. "Do you think anyone's here?" Leo whispered. Emma shook her head. "It looks like no one's been here for years. Let's take a look inside." They pushed open the creaky door and stepped into the cottage. The air inside was cool and musty. Sunlight filtered through the grimy windows, casting strange shadows on the wooden floor. The room was filled with old furniture, shelves lined with dusty books, and peculiar objects Emma couldn't identify. On a table in the center of the room, they found a small, ornate box. It was made of dark wood and decorated with intricate carvings of stars and moons. Emma lifted the lid carefully and gasped. Inside was a beautiful silver locket. She picked it up, feeling its cool, smooth surface in her palm. "Look at this, Leo," she said, showing him the locket. "It's so beautiful." Leo examined it closely. "There's something written on the back." Emma turned the locket over and read the inscription, "To my dearest Alara, may your magic always shine bright." "Do you think this belonged to the witch?" Leo asked, his eyes wide with excitement. "Maybe," Emma replied. "But why would she leave it behind?" Just then, they heard a soft rustling outside the cottage. Startled, they looked at each other, then slowly peeked out the window. At the edge of the clearing stood a young woman. She was dressed in a flowing green dress, and her long, dark hair cascaded down her back. Her eyes were a deep, enchanting blue, and she had a warm, inviting smile. "Hello, children," she called out gently. "I've been waiting for you." Emma and Leo exchanged nervous glances, then stepped out of the cottage. The woman approached them, her movements graceful and serene. "I am Alara," she said, confirming their suspicions. "I see you have found my locket." Emma handed it to her, feeling a mix of awe and curiosity. "We didn't mean to intrude," she said. "We were just exploring." Alara smiled and nodded. "I know. The forest has a way of guiding those with good hearts to where they need to be." She looked at the locket, her eyes shimmering with nostalgia. "This locket was given to me by my dearest friend many years ago. I left it here because I knew someone would find it when the time was right. Leo looked at her, his curiosity piqued. Why did you leave, and why did the villagers think you disappeared? Alara sighed, her expression turning wistful. I had to leave because the magic of these woods was fading. It needed time to heal, and so did I. But now, thanks to you both, the magic is returning. Emma and Leo glanced at each other, their hearts filling with a sense of wonder and accomplishment. They had always dreamed of being part of a great adventure, and now they were living it. Will you stay in the woods now? Emma asked. Alara nodded. Yes, but not alone. The magic of the forest is alive again, and soon, others will join me. The Whispering Woods will be a place of beauty and wonder once more. As the sun began to set, Alara led Emma and Leo back through the woods. She showed them hidden paths and secret clearings, teaching them about the plants and animals that called the forest home. By the time they reached the edge of the woods, the stars were twinkling above, and the forest was alive with the sounds of the night. Thank you for bringing the magic back, Alara said, her eyes glowing with gratitude. Remember, the forest will always welcome you. Emma and Leo waved goodbye to Alara, their hearts full of joy and a newfound respect for the Whispering Woods. They had discovered that magic was not just in fairy tales, but in the world around them, waiting to be found by those who believed. As they walked home under the starry sky, they knew that their adventures in the Whispering Woods were just beginning. There were more mysteries to uncover, more secrets to learn, and more magic to share. The woods had whispered their secrets to them, and they were ready to listen.